If you can find yourself on this sign, then you are of the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, on down. If you can find yourself anywhere on this sign, then you are of God's chosen people. We're all brothers and sisters, and the name of your Lord is Ehyeh Ashar Ehyeh. These are our tribal names, and these are the names of the nations that have us in captivity. Negroes, blacks, African Americans. We're on the Indian soil. Haitians, they're our priests. They're Levites. Simeon, Zebulun, on down. In order to cross back over from captivity to tribe, you must understand that the first 5 books of your very Bible, every Bible that you have, is our law, statutes, and commandments that we must abide by, that our Lord parted us with. We aren't to abide by the rules, codes, and ordinances that these other nations have set forth, but under our own free will, we abide by those rules, codes, and ordinances under the threat of duress and coercion. They're enforcing their laws with the sword, their rules, codes, and their ordinances with all their different organizations that'll bring upon you the sword. And our Levites, which I just found out not too long ago that I am, have a very important role in Israel. They're the priests. So if you can find yourself from the tribe of Levi, which is our Haitians, then you're the priest. And I have some precepts about our priests. Deuteronomy 21:5. The priests, sons of Levi, shall come forth, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister to him and to pronounce blessing in the name of the Lord, and every lawsuit and case of assault is subject to their ruling. They are our priests. Deuteronomy 16:18. You shall appoint magistrates and officials for your tribes in all the settlements that the Lord your God has given you, and they shall govern the people with due justice. You shall not judge unfairly. You shall show no partiality. You shall not take bribes, for bribes blind the eyes of the discerning and upset the plea of the just. Justice, justice shall you pursue, that you may thrive and occupy the land that the Lord your God has given you. Deuteronomy 16:21 says, You shall not set up a sacred post of any kind of pole beside the altar of the Lord your God that you may make, or erect a stone pillar, for such the Lord your God detests. Deuteronomy 17:2. If there is found among you in one of the settlements that the Lord your God has given you a man or a woman who has affronted the Lord your God and transgressed his covenant, turning to the worship of other gods and bowing down to them, to the sun or the moon or any of the heavenly hosts, something I never commanded, and you have been informed or have learned of it, then you shall make a thorough inquiry. If it is true, the fact is established that a abhorrent thing was perpetrated in Israel, you shall take the man or the woman who did that wicked thing out to the public place, and you shall stone them, man or woman, to death. A person shall be put to death only on the testimony of 2 or more witnesses. He must not be put to death on the testimony of a single witness. Let the hands of the witnesses be the first against him to put him to death, and the hands of the rest of the people thereafter. Thus you will sweep evil from your midst. If a case is too baffling for you to decide, be it a controversy over homicide, civil law, or matters of dispute in your courts, you shall promptly repair to the place that the Lord your God will have chosen. Deuteronomy 17:9. And appear before the Levitical priest or the magistrate in charge at the time, and present your problem. When they have announced to you the verdict in the case, You shall carry out the verdict that is announced to you from that place that the Lord chose, observing scrupulously all their instructions to you. You shall act in accordance with the instructions given you and the ruling handed down to you. You must not deviate from the verdict that they announce to you, either to the right or to the left. Should a man act presumptuously and disregard the priest charged with serving the Lord your God, or the magistrate, that man shall die. Thus you will sweep out evil from Israel. All the people will hear and be afraid and will not act presumptuously again. Deuteronomy 17:14. If after you have entered the land that the Lord your God has assigned to you and taken possession of it and settled in it, you decide, I will set a king over me, as do all the nations about me, you shall be free to set a king over yourself, one chosen by the Lord your God. You should have set as king over yourself one of your own people. You must not set a foreigner over you, one who is not your kinsman. Moreover, he shall not keep many horses or send people back to Egypt to add to his horses, since the Lord has warned you. You must not go back that way again. Deuteronomy 18:17. And he shall not have many wives, lest his heart go astray, nor shall he omit silver and gold to excess. Deuteronomy 18:18. When he is seated on his royal throne, he shall have a copy of this teaching written for him on a scroll by the Levitical priest. Let it remain with him, and let him read in it all his life, so that he may learn to revere the Lord his God, to observe faithfully every word of this teaching, as well as these laws. Thus he will not act haughtily toward his fellows, or deviate from the instruction to the right or to the left, to the end that he and his descendants may reign long in the midst of Israel. Deuteronomy 18. The Levitical priests, the whole tribe of Levi, shall have no territorial portion with Israel. They shall live only off the Lord's offerings by fire as their portion, and shall have no portion among their brother tribes. As their portion is their portion, as the Lord is their portion, as he promised them. Deuteronomy 18:3. This then shall be the priest's due from the people. Everyone who offers a sacrifice, whether an ox or a sheep, must give the shoulder, the cheeks, and the stomach to the priest. You shall give him the first fruits of your new grain and wine and oil, and the first shearing of your sheep. For the Lord your God has chosen him and his descendants out of all your tribes to be in attendance for service in the name of the Lord for all time. Deuteronomy 18:6. If a Levite would go from any of the settlements throughout Israel where he has been residing to the place that the Lord has chosen, he may do so whenever he pleases. He may serve in the name of the Lord his God alike all his fellow Levites who are there in attendance before the Lord. They shall receive equal shares of the dues without regard to personal gifts or patrimonies. And the Lord said these things. And the Lord further said, the Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons and the ancestral house under your charge shall bear any guilt connected with the sanctuary. You and your sons alone shall bear any guilt connected with your priesthood. You shall also associate with yourself your kinsmen, the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, to be attached to you and to minister to you, while you and your sons under your charge are before the tent of the pact. They shall discharge their duties to you and to the tent as a whole, but they must not have any contact with the furnishings of the shrine, or with the altar, lest both they and you die. They shall be attached to you and discharge the duties of the tent of meeting, all the service of the tent, but no outsider shall intrude upon you, as you discharge the duties connected with the shrine and the altar, that wrath may not again strike the Israelites. Numbers 18:6. I hereby take your fellow Levites from among the Israelites. They are assigned to you in dedication to the Lord to do the work of the tent of meeting, while you and your sons shall be careful to perform your priestly duties in everything pertaining to the altar and to what is behind the curtain. I make your priesthood a service of dedication. Any outsider who encroaches shall be put to death. The Lord spoke further to Aaron. I hereby give you charge of my gifts, all the sacred donations of the Israelites. I grant them to you and to your sons as a perquisite, a due for all time. This shall be yours from the most holy sacrifices, the offerings by fire, every such offering that they render to me as most holy sacrifices, namely every meal offering, sin offering, and guilt offering of theirs shall belong to you and your sons. Numbers 18:10. You shall partake of them as most sacred donations. Only males may eat them. You shall treat them as consecrated. This too shall be yours, the gift offerings of their contributions. All the elevation offerings of the Israelites I give to you, to your sons, and to the daughters that are with you, as they do for all time. Every one of your household who is clean may eat it. All the best of the new oil, wine, and grain, the choice parts that they present to the Lord that I give to you. The first fruits of everything in their land that they bring to the Lord shall be yours. Every one of your household who is clean may eat them. Everything that has been proscribed in Israel shall be yours. The first issue of the womb of every being, man or beast, that is offered to the Lord shall be yours. But you shall have the firstborn of man redeemed, and you shall also have the firstling of unclean animals redeemed. Take as their redemption price, from the age of 1 month up, the money equivalent of 5 shekels by the sanctuary weight, which is 20 gerahs. But the firstlings of cattle, sheep, or goats may not be redeemed. They are consecrated. You shall dash their blood against the altar and turn their fat into smoke as an offering by fire for a pleasing odor to the Lord. But their meat shall be yours. It shall be yours like the breast of the elevation offering and like the right thigh. All the sacred gifts that the Israelites set aside for the Lord I give to you, to your sons, and to the daughters that are with you as a due for all time. It shall be an everlasting covenant of salt before the Lord for you and for your offspring as well. And the Lord said to Aaron, You shall, however, have no territorial share among them or own any portion in their midst. I am your portion and your share among the Israelites. Numbers 18:21. And to the Levites I hereby give all the tithes in Israel as their share in return for the services that they perform, the services of the tent of meeting. Henceforth Israelites shall not trespass on the tent of meeting, and thus incur guilt and die. Only Levites shall perform the services of the tent of meeting. Others will incur guilt. It is the law for all time throughout the ages. But they shall have no territorial share among the Israelites, for it is the tithes set aside by the Israelites as a gift to the Lord that I give to the Levites as their share. Therefore I have said concerning them, they shall have no territorial share among the Israelites. Numbers 18:25. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the Levites and say to them, When you receive from the Israelites their tithes, which I have assigned to you as your share, you shall set aside from them 1/10 of the tithe as a gift to the Lord. This shall be accounted to you as your gift. As with the new grain from the threshing floor, or the flow from the vat, so shall you on your part set aside a gift for the Lord from all the tithes that you receive from the Israelites. And from them you shall bring the gift for the Lord to Aaron the priest. You shall set aside all gifts due to the Lord from everything that is donated to you, from each thing its best portion, the part thereof that is to be consecrated. Say to them further, when you have removed the best part from it, you Levites may consider it the same as the yield of threshing floor or vat. Numbers 18:31. You and your households may eat it anywhere, for it is your recompense for your services in the tent of meeting. You will incur no guilt through it once you have removed the best part from it. But you must not profane the sacred donations of the Israelites, lest you die. And the Lord said that, and the name is Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh.